Hey y'all, it's Shelly and I am Scrappy Longstocking. Today I am here to work on some more of my 2025 December daily album. Earlier today, I have no idea where I'm at with this project right now. I can tell you that. That's what I do know. Let's see. It looks like the last story I videoed was number 19. And I know I have printed out a lot of stories. So I do 31 stories in my album. Let's see. This is not staying together as well. I think what I'm going to end up having to do is get some red line tape and re-adhere at least the sides of this right here, because it's as I was flipping through earlier, I realized, oh, okay, so 19, this is story 19. Okay. So as I was flipping through earlier, I realized like these pockets were coming off. So the regular adhesive is not going to work. I do not have any more of the 1/8 inch adhesive, so red line adhesive. So I need to get some and then I'll fix that. All right. Story number 20 is this. I know what I need. Hold, please. Story number 20 is the back of this. So what I'll end up having to do is get a filler for in here. I don't know what that's going to be. I guess I'll have to figure it out, won't I? Okay, so this is number 20. Number 21 is serving. So 21 is going to be, let's see, I wanted to put this here, and then the serving is going to go on the back of it. So this is my serve day. And then I have this to go as an insert. So I believe these two, I hope they're the same size. If not, I'll have to do some adjustments. It'll be fine. So these two go in between these two pages. And I'll handwrite that journaling. So that is story 21. And this is story 22. This did not happen on the 22nd. But I wanted to tell the story. Okay. And then story number 23. So in the prep day, that's what I missed. In the prep day, there was a person whose idea was to use a bunch of stars as a border. And I want to figure out a way to incorporate that on these two pages using adhesive, not a sewing machine. This one, I think I've printed out this photo, but I don't know where it is. Okay, so this photo goes there. And I have this 3x4 card and this picked out. And then next to it, across from it, is going to be this one. This is the swan from the prep day as well. And then there was a swan as one of the Advent calendar pieces. So these two, I wanted to use this. I like what it stands for. So that's going to go back to back. Okay, y'all, I had done a super long introduction on this video, and I just cut out the second half of it because for some reason I shared with you all of the plans for the rest of this album when I was only really coming to the table to do 3 pages. And this video was very, very long, so I needed to cut some out. And that's why the end of that introduction just looks very chopped off. But what I started to do is on story 19, I was waiting for someone to send me the group photo that we took in front of the stage that night. And I went ahead and I got that photo, blew it up to 8 by 10, and then I put it there. So this page has what is that? That's a 8 by 9 on the left, the pockets, and then the back page is what I'm searching for. And then, so it's got a filler on the back of the pocket page, and then the full page photo on the right-hand side. I started with finishing up the filler page for the previous story, number 19, and I went ahead and already had story number 20 done. It was a template by Paislee Press from one of her digital kits that I purchased from her shop directly. And I am so glad that I have these templates for this year, because it really did make some of these pages much, much easier than it would have been otherwise. And so I was really glad to have them. So I finished that backer page, got my photos taped back to back. And then all I needed to do on this one was, I had forgotten to put the number on there. So I needed to pick a number and go ahead and put that on. And then this page, even though it has journaling on it about exactly what's going on in the photo, so I paired it with the December Delights page because I needed another filler. So I think the December Delights page was in the December daily prep day class. So I went ahead and grabbed that out of that class, and I filled out the journaling, and each one of the messy circles on that says, love this. And so I wrote, friendships. During this year, I have made so many new friends, and my happy heart overflows with love. And then the second one says, warming temps. I love living in the South. The temperature is rising for this Christmas. Then the third one says, church. This church is finally feeling like a home, and I am very grateful for that. Next is adventuring. This year has been so full of so much fun. I can't believe all the good stuff. And then the last one is serving. I love that I get to serve on this coffee team. It's a bit of joy in a cup. So once I get all of that written out, I adhered it back to back with the serve day photo that I had taken with the people who were on the coffee serve team for serve day. And then I had printed it out knowing that I was going to attempt to do this star edge. And I didn't really like it. I didn't like how it turned out. I just didn't like it, and it's fine. It didn't look like my expectation, and that's why I didn't like it. So what I did was I went and got a 1/2-inch size red line tape, and I adhered it along the edge of the photo. So I put the photo and the December Delights page back to back, and then I left an extra edge for the December Delights paper so that I could use it as the actual edge for my star edge. And then I just dumped out or got as many of the stars from my stash as I could. I did not buy the stars mini kit this year because I knew that I already had so many stars. And stars are an easy shape to fussy cut out. So if I knew that if I decide that I wanted it, I could just go ahead and buy it when I decided to use it. That way I wouldn't be adding to my stash. And then also I wouldn't be spending a bunch of extra money for stuff that I really didn't need. And it turns out that I hardly used any stars at all this year. Even though I had bought that package of, I think they're red and green and white wooden stars. I bought that during the end of the year sales. But anyway, so we got this picture, put the stars edge on there, and then I went ahead and did my journaling for the other side or for this page. And I did put the two, they're probably like 5 inches wide by 8.5 tall or 8.25 tall. So I put those inserts in there that I created myself. I just went into Canva and I used boxes in Canva to create the borders around them. And then on the one that says Serve Sunday, that was just, I think I put in rectangle box, maybe. And then, or rectangle border, something like that. And then I went ahead and used the stamp, the digital stamp that matched some of the words in this year's kit. So I grabbed that stamp and I just put in Serve Sunday. And then I did handwritten journaling. And I knew I wanted to do handwriting because I knew it was going to be a large space. And if I had done typewritten journaling, I would end up with a blank spot because I didn't have a whole lot to say about it. But what I did write is today was the second candlelight service on a Sunday morning. There were 3 more on Tuesday and Wednesday. I was leaving Wednesday and not wanting a late night Tuesday. Also, this morning is my regular serve day. So I signed up and we arrived at 8 and got right to work making coffee. I think this was my busiest serve Sunday yet, but it warmed my heart to play a small part of it all and then tear down and clean up, finish by 9:45 and on the road home. So, let's see. I went ahead and had the back one that I did for this one, I did in green, and I used the working stamp. I think this one was from 2020, one of the days, and it was a free download that Allie put on one of her blog days. So I remembered that, and I went back and I grabbed it. So because I wanted to tell a story about work. And so this did not happen on the 22nd. I don't remember which day it happened on, but the 22nd, I believe, was a Monday. And I wanted to tell a story about work. And so I had asked these folks on the day that we had the training if they would mind if I took a picture, and they said yes. So it worked out. So on this one also, I just typed in Canva, I think I typed in scallop border, and it gave me this particular border, and then I colored it green, and it matched I grabbed one of the colors from the kit to recolor it green. So I also did handwritten journaling on this one, and it says, this was my second training this month for APS. I love doing these trainings and helping the client stay on track and inside their legal boundaries. Learning and training the client really is one of my favorite parts of the job. I'm so grateful and so glad that I didn't move back to Ohio last year. This job is way better than that one. So the other thing I wanted to try and make sure to do that I don't feel like I did as well as I wanted to do was pull the stars from the left side of the page all the way over to the right side of the page. So that meant I wanted to use it for both of the stories. The other thing that I'm not super happy about is that you can see story number 20 through on the left side, and there's no stars on that page. And I guess I could go back and sprinkle that far left corner with some stars, maybe for some embellishment, and that might make it make a little bit more sense. But the basics of it is I don't have to love every page. Everything doesn't have to be perfect, and it's good enough. And with so many stories in this album, so 31 instead of 25, with 31 stories, it's the whole of the album that will make me happy. I'll just be glad that I have the story, even if I don't like how the embellishments came out, even if the story, even if the design didn't come out right, even if all the stars fall off and the whole thing looks silly willy, it's fine. It's all fine. It's all going to be fine. And that's what I like. One of the things I like about this project is it's the whole that makes the difference rather than just each one individual story. The numbers that I chose for these 2 pages, so story 21 and 22, were the full page gold letter numbers that were released in 2024's December daily release. And I just picked them up because during the sale portion of the boxing period this year in 2025. To include this insert in the album, I decided to use a clear adhesive for the, not adhesive, acetate to make sure to get it in the album. Right now I cannot find my, the page inserts. I forget what they're called, but I can't find them. So I had to figure out a way to get this in the album how I wanted it in the album, because I didn't want holes to be punched through where I had already written. So if I had punched the holes first, then I would have been able to write around it. But since I didn't think about how I was going to put it in the album when I printed it out or created it, or while I was writing, I had to figure out something at the end. So I clearly keep making a mistake on how it's getting in the album. And for a moment, I thought maybe I would have to go ahead and reprint this whole insert, which would have been fine if I'd had to do it. But I didn't. It worked out. Everything was fine. And you can't even tell in the album, you can't even tell that I had to go through all of these shenanigans to get it out, or to get it in the album. I just tidied things up a bit because there was a bunch of the paper excess remnants on that acetate, and then punch the pages and go ahead and get them into the album. Okay, folks, that is just about all I have for you today. And then I'm going to go ahead and give you a flip through of these couple of pages in the album. They're slightly off to the right side of the camera, and I do apologize for that. But I just wanted to give you to let you see them as they are in the album. So thank you for hanging out with me today. I very much enjoyed hanging out with you. Go ahead and press the like and subscribe button if you want to tell the algorithm you want to see more pages like this and more scrapbooking. And I'll see you all around the internet. Bye, friends.